Hey guys, welcome back to the Isn Podcast News. My name is Corbin Horton,
And I'm Carlin Butler.
and today we have a special guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Allie Martin with WCBI TV. I work out of the Tupelo office.
That's really cool. Okay, we're gonna ask you some questions and
Okay.
about what you do and stuff like that.
All right. Fire away.
Carlin, would you like to go first?
Yes, sir. So what is it exactly that you do at the WCBI newsroom?
Yes, sir. So I cover the news from the Tupelo area. And of course, our main office is, down in Columbus. But I cover the news in the northern half of the area. So that could be Tupelo, Monroe County, Chickasaw County, New Albany. We just cover the news of the day in our neck of the woods. We've lived in Tupelo since 1994. So we kind of know the area, know the lay of the land up there. And we get to cover stuff like this. We're here doing a story today.
That's really cool. What kind of working environment is it up at the WCBI newsroom?
Yes, sir. Excuse me. So with my situation, of course, our main office is down in Columbus, 60 miles away, but I'm in the Tupelo office by myself. So I have the setup similar to what y'all have here. Y'all have a really neat setup with the computers and the editing software. So that's what I do. I go out every day, videotape the stories, interview people. Go back to the office in Tupelo, right there near the Bancorp South Conference Center and then the arena, and I put everything together and we send it down to Columbus, and you see it on the newscast every night.
So it's an honor for you to be here on a podcast that we just started. And is there any tips that you can help, since you worked in a kind of environment like this, to help us keep doing better, like bettering ourselves as co-hosts and anything like that?
Well, I would just say, first of all, y'all have a really nice setup here. Y'all have all the tools to do what you need to do. And when you talk to folks or do interviews with people, just as much as you can, know a little bit about your subject. Of course, when we do stories every day, we can't know everything about everything that we cover, but know sort of what kind of story you want to do, what the focus of the interview is, know a little bit about your subject, and if you're prepared a little bit, that will go a long way.
Well, like when you interview people, like what kind of questions do you ask them? And do you like memorize your own questions that you wanted to ask them prior to that moment, or do you ask questions right on the moment?
That's a good point. Like I was saying, you try to be familiar with, the story that you're covering. So you have a few questions that you want to ask people. But at the end of every interview, I always ask whomever I'm interviewing, I always say, do you have anything else you want to add to that? And sometimes that gives you your best, they'll say something that takes your whole story in a different direction. So also, I think a real important thing too, when you're interviewing people and and they're answering, instead of thinking of the next question you're going to ask, because sometimes that's what I used to do, listen to what they're telling you, because sometimes their answer will, you'll have another question from their answer, and that takes things in a whole different direction too. So a little bit of preparation. Of course, you can't be an expert on every story that you cover. We interview the experts, because news, when you get down to it, it's really about people, how people are affected by news and, stories of the day. But just a little bit of preparation, and I do have a few questions for each person I interview, but always you have to be flexible, and if things go in a different direction, you have to be able to do that also.
Well, we would like to thank you for coming for the 100th episode that we have.
200th.
Yes, and we would like to thank you for coming and interviewing all of our people at the VOTEG, at the Digital Media Center. And we would like to see you again for like the 300th episode.
That's right. I was here for the 100th, I think 5 years ago. The 200th, y'all are doing a great job. Keep up the great work, and go Indians.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all.